And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Please welcome to the ring the current British and Commonwealth champion, Nottingham's own Carl Froch.
His palms are sweaty, his big arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth with the words written out. He's choking out, everybody's choking out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the officials appointed for this contest by the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge, Mr. Tony Behan, the Commonwealth Council representative, Mr. Simon Block, the timekeeper, Mr. Norman Maddox of Stoke-on-Trent, and the referee in charge of the action, Mr. Phil Edwards from Preston. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Nottingham Arena on ITV Sport, it's the Big Fight Live. Hennessy Promotions proudly present tonight's main event, a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the Super Middleweight Championship of Great Britain and the Commonwealth. Between and introducing the boxers, and firstly, fighting out on the blue corner, wearing the red trunks trimmed with black. He hails from Southampton, weighed in at the limit weight of 12 stone exactly. He holds a 27-fight professional record, 21 wins, 6 wins coming by way of the big KO with 5 losses and 1 defeat. He's the former British champion, former European title challenger, and the mandatory challenger for the title tonight. Please welcome the challenger, Matt Barney. And standing across the ring in the red corner is the champion. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 and a half pounds, and comes to the ring undefeated as a professional. 15 big wins from 15 contests, 12 wins by way of the knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, he comes to the ring as the British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Nottingham, Carl the Cobra Froch. The referee, Mr. Phil Edwards, will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Well, here we go then for tonight's joint main event of the evening on this Hennessy Sports promotion from the Nottingham Arena. And we have got an absolute classic in prospect, possibly, or we've got a nightmare. And this could be the worst nightmare that Carl Froch will ever face. The reigning and defending British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion up against the former British Champion in Matt Barney. 12 rounds of boxing potentially in front of us here. And Duke, it promises to be very interesting, whatever happens.
It certainly will be an interesting fight. I mean, we know what Barney's all about, and Froch really wants to try and make a statement to on the European scene tonight if he can get this guy out of there. But it's, you know, it's one of them. It really is.
Here we go, then round one. Now, Carl Froch has has promised to come hunting Matthew Barney down. But I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've actually seen Matthew Barney in a fight take it actually to a puncher. Because let's face it, Froch is a banger.
Well, you're only as good as your last fight, and Barney's had a very, very good last fight, albeit a defeat. But you know, by all accounts, he was in a European title fight and should have got the decision.
Absolutely, fought Thomas Ulrich in Germany. I thought he won it 8 rounds to 4, but was very badly treated by the scorecards. And looking to put that experience to good use here. He doesn't want to make a mistake against Carl Froch. Known these two since they were amateurs. And Froch, of course, became the first man to win a medal, a bronze, in fact, in the World Championships ever. Oh, there's the wonderful defensive skills there of Matthew Barney from Southampton. Froch, of course, the local man from Nottingham. Referee for this one, Phil Edwards, the sole arbiter here tonight.
Well, Barney's been accused of many things in his career, you know, a bit negative, counter-puncher, runner, call him whatever you want, but he's actually very good at what he does.
Yes, he's a master. Now, a lot of people I've spoken to throughout the day have said they fancy Froch winning this in 2 rounds. I've spoken to others who think that this will be a very tight fight. I spoke to one who said that there's no doubt about it, Barney will win this on points.
Well, let me tell you this, if Froch, and it's a big if he can stop this boy, I tell you, it would be quite a feat, because nobody really stops him, he just doesn't get stopped.
That's right, 2 quiet fellas these, and they go about their business like Duke said, and Barney, you know, he's very, very good at what he does, but then again, so is Carl Froch. We have worried in the past about his low slung left hand, which, you know, causes me a few problems, I must admit.
Well, you know, Barney's got the potential to make Froch look very bad tonight. So, like I say, if Froch does get him out of there, it would be a real feat on his part.
Well, we're inside the last minute, and a couple of good punches from Carl Froch in this first round. Nice job there from Barney.
Froch has to be just a little bit careful. Just be a little bit careful, in as much as not just running in.
Sorry, Duke, a double jab there again from Matthew Barney a moment ago. And this is a fight that Matthew Barney has asked for, isn't it?
It certainly is. You know, Barney's been calling Froch out and, you know, really trying to make up some noise, and he's got his wish.
And of course, Carl Froch's been calling out Joe Kells. So here we go then, this is round 2, and the atmosphere in this Nottingham arena, Duke, is absolutely electric. You can cut it with a knife, couldn't you?
It certainly is, he's really come alive now. Froch has entered the boxing arena, and he's now fighting Barney.
Well, no doubt about it, Carl Froch, well, in my opinion, won the first round. Duke, how have you got it?
I've given it even, there was nothing in it really. You know, Barney didn't do a lot, Froch didn't do a lot, he stalked him, sure, but didn't really land. Just has to be nice and cool, Froch. Of course he wants to catch Barney, but he just doesn't want to start running after him. He's got to cut the ring down, not follow him around the ring. He's got to make the ring as small as he can, not allow Barney to keep circling round to his right. He should step over to use his left foot, keep his foot on the outside. Right hand's left hooks, they're the shots he should try and adopt.
Well, Matthew Barney then taking the noble art of self-defence to another level, really. And, you know, as Duke said, you know, he does it exceptionally well. It might not be pretty, but it is effective. And at the end of the day, that's all he cares about. Well, you can see there, Froch had his left arm up quite high, which is unusual for him these days.
He's got a very, very relaxed, very kind of almost lazy style as Froch.
Nice bit of evasive work there from Barney.
But he's nice and elusive himself. See, Barney's actually trying to outfox Froch. You know, he's throwing 1 or 2 little snappy shots, got a little bit of no he's saying to Froch. They never landed.
I've got to say he's making a pretty good job of it at the moment.
He certainly is.
Nice right there from Carl Froch. suppose he's just got to throw as many furious shots as he possibly can when he gets the opportunity.
Well, Barney, as we know, is the sort of the defensive master. He can make the best fighters look absolutely ordinary. Okay, he's not winning these fights that he's having, but he's just he is he's so frustrating to box.
A minute to go then here in less than a minute to go in round 2, and it's been a decent round this, I think, for Carl Froch. He's got through with the punches once again that matter, despite the very good defensive work from Matthew Barney.
So Barney just ties Froch up on the inside. He gets his arms either underneath or over the top and just not allows him to work.
And he positively makes Harold Graham look like a brawler, doesn't he?
Good comment.
Well, Froch has got through with some pretty lusty-looking punches in this second round, and as a result, we'll take it on my card anyway. And but Barney is still an incredibly tricky man. Well, 2 hectic rounds of boxing so far between the reigning and defending Commonwealth and British super middleweight champion Carl Froch and his challenger, the former British champion Matthew Barney. So far, the first 2 rounds look to have gone Froch's way. Of course, our referee Phil Edwards is the sole arbiter here. Only his opinion counts. And Matthew Barney, he's getting off with the odd slippery shot, getting out of the way in absolute expert fashion, jumping sometimes 6, 8, 10 feet in the air to do so. Well, not in the air, but you know what I mean, in a backwards manner.
I'd like to see Froch adopt feints into his work. Show him one punch, hit him with another. He's got to make this guy, fight a different kind of a fight. Okay, he's counter-punching. He's always on the retreat. He's very, very elusive. So he should, throw a punch to the body and then wait to see what happens, see how Barney responds, and then throw it back to the head. Come back with counter-punches. Let the combinations go.
Well, a decent right there again for Carl Froch a moment ago, but Barney's got through the cracking left hook in this in the early stages of this round.
The one thing about Barney is that he's just so upright. He's upwardly mobile. So Froch should throw big roundhouse right hands right around the houses. Take it right out peripheral vision so that he doesn't see it coming, and he'll land.
Interesting point. So Matthew Barney in the red shorts here from Southampton against the man from Nottingham, the local lad, Carl Froch.
You can feel the tension between these two, you really can.
Well, there's a bit of verbal from Carl a moment ago in one of the exchanges. He came out and he was, you could see his mouth moving.
Everything that Froch is doing to Barney, Barney's giving it back to him in turn. Little rabbit punches, the holding, not the hitting also.
Well, looking at the both lads and talking about that.
See, Froch knows that Barney can't hurt him, so he's taking risks.
Sometimes that can be a big mistake, Duke. As well as I do, you could be walking forward with your hands down, taking a can't hit, and bingo.
You're on the seat of your pants, yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget there's 12 stone of Matthew Barney, and he's coming in behind these arms. I mean, he's going to land with a degree of power.
Yeah, sure. I think what you find is, Barney would have probably lost some of that power because he's been up to light heavyweight, I believe, in this European title fight, and he's come back down now in weight.
Well, it's a reasonably close round, this one. I think, well, it's very, very hard to know where to go, to be honest with you. It's that close, I might call this one level, actually.
I'd like to see more jabs from Froch.
Oh, sneak right there again from Barney. Well, I'm going to go for Carl Froch, actually. Indeed, it is round 4 then of an intriguing looking contest, and Duke, I've got to say this is a lot better than people anticipated.
Well, so far so good. I mean, Barney's done his fair share of defensive work, but at least he has tried to take the fight to Froch, which is what we didn't expect.
Indeed. So Matthew Barney in the red shorts, and against the reigning and defending Commonwealth and British champion here at super middleweight, which is the 12-stone division. Of course, that's the limit. Carl Froch.
Well, we've got Froch headhunting quite a lot. I'd be more inclined to go downstairs and then come back up top.
Yes, you're right. There's not been a body shot from Carl Froch yet of any note. Of course, in the cheap seats, that looks terrific, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You're just waiting too long, Froch. You're just waiting much too long. Needs to get that jab working.
There was a bite to the body there a moment ago for Matthew Barney. Now what Carl doesn't need to do, and he's apt to do this, is get lackadaisical, because it will play very much against him.
Oh sure, against the counter puncher, that's the last thing you need.
You've got to stay on top of him, haven't you, really?
Got to stay on top of him, he's got to try and break his heart. Relentless pressure.
Oh, a couple of nice snappy left hands there again from Matthew.
Froch needs to keep up relentless pressure on this boy. Make him fight a fight he's not used to fighting. Just allowing him too much room. There you go, just keep that up, keep that up.
Well, looks like Barney might just have got the better of that exchange, you know.
Well, Barney's the one that's actually fighting quite well on the inside.
Well, punching on the break there, referee Phil Edwards warned him for that.
But you don't have to stop punching until the referee tells you to break, so...
And he didn't, did he?
No, he never told him to stop punching.
Hands out.
Well, that's a slip. That's a slip. Well, in fact, it was a half a throw, half a slip.
That's frustration on Froch's part. You know, just got sick of them rabbit punches, and that's him showing his disdain.
Well, this is all about Matthew Barney's plan, isn't it? The ploy to upset the champion. Oh, lovely right. Good shot. Half a minute to go then in this fourth round.
A little bit frustrating for Froch. Can't find that bingo punch he's looking for right now.
But that's the stock in trade for Matthew Barney, is that that's what he intends to do.
Absolutely.
He did that against Thomas Ulrich, who barely landed a scoring blow in 12 rounds of boxing.
Just wants to keep frustrating Froch.
Round for Barney. Round 5 coming up then, and Matthew Barney's just had a cracker, and I think he won that round, the fourth, but he's still behind by a 2-point margin, and we saw the frustration creeping into Carl Froch's work. The referee took time out a couple of times. He's doing it before the start of this round as well. There's been one or two throws, there's been a bit of rabbit punching, there's been a bit of punching when he said stop. And here we are, the action then resumes in round 5.
I don't think this fight's in any danger of losing control. The referee's not about to lose control of this, but he's just double-checking and making sure the fighters understand that.
Absolutely right. And you know, there's another thing we said. Whether Froch is too casual, I don't know. Whether his mind has been affected by this Barney approach is quite another thing, of course.
Well, Barney's been playing psychological mind games with him, and you know, he knows he's good at what he does, and he's just tried to exploit Froch.
A glancing blow there from Carl. But the thing is, Duke, I've said this 1,000 times, success breeds success. In this game, like in no other, it's absolutely instant, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd like to see Froch use that jab more. Use it as a rangefinder instead of pouring with it.
Oh, a lovely jab there from Barney. That's the way to do it.
So obviously it's intelligent thinking by Barney. He's fighting his normal kind of a fight. This is how he fights all the time.
Indeed,
On the back foot. You know, frustrating, slipping, dipping, tying up.
And still Carl not able to land with a clean punch. Once again, a cracking jab there.
Sure, there needs to be more of them, obviously, you know, more punches from Froch.
And let me remind you, by the way, that when he fought Thomas Ulrich for the European Championship, a weight higher than this, only came out of the ring with a closed left.
There's a better attack by Froch, needs to sustain it now. He should just throw punches, it doesn't really matter where he lands, you just keep throwing the shots. He's going to hit something, you know, shoulders, elbows, doesn't really matter, as long as he's hitting that target.
Pivotal point in the fight here, because if Froch does win this round, it looks like he might. This might just have sealed it for him at this very stage.
Yeah, good run from Froch this far. Just starting to get through a little bit now. I wonder if he can sustain this.
There's going to have to be a sea change for Barney, that's for certain.
You know, Barney ain't about to go down just because there's been one or two onslaughts.
So here we go then, this is round 6 coming up, and I've just checked my scorecard. I've got a 3-point gap now, has opened up in favour of Carl Froch at 49-46. The challenger, well, you know, I said previously he needs a sea change here in his thinking. I think by and large he's almost got it right, Duke, but there's some tweaking to be done, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, what Froch is doing, you can see what he's trying to do. But he's just not quite getting through clear enough. You know, I've got him 2 rounds up, so, you know, I mean, he's not in any danger of losing this one, at least not yet. I'd just like to see him get a little bit closer, start trying to work Barney over with the body shots.
But we're supposed to be impartial, Duke. You know, what would you like to see Barney doing?
Well, for Barney's just doing what he likes to do. Barney's the complete counter-puncher. We're not about to see him really take this fight to Carl Froch. That's not how he wins fights, and that's not his style.
Well, some lovely left hands from Barney in this 6th round so far. And again, a good jab there, catching Froch full in the face. And I don't think Froch imagined he'd probably get hit quite as much as this from a man who's got a reputation for running.
Nice combination from Froch. Missed out from a nice left hook.
And I've got to say, Duke, this is an absolute nightmare, isn't it, for Carl Froch? You get a fighter like Barney comes to your hometown, you want to look good.
It's so frustrating, it really is. You know, you can see what Froch wants to do and what he's trying to do, but Barney won't allow him to do that.
Carl now trying to sit down on those shots and bring a bit more power out of them.
That was actually a very good right hand landed there by Froch.
Yep.
Up until that point, that was a good onslaught.
About it, you know, with his record that Carl Froch can hit, you know. He's scored 12 knockouts in 15 wins so far, so still relatively inexperienced. And Barney's record stands at 21 wins, 5 defeats and 1 draw, but he's only scored 6 knockouts in 21 victories, which means I think he actually hits a lot harder than people say. He has done here tonight, anyway.
He's landed some good shots on Froch, and when Froch has got a very loose defence, obviously, this is what we come to expect from Froch. Good accurate punching.
Well, nice bit of work again here from Froch. Yep, good round there for Carl Froch. 59, plays 55. 4 points the lead. And there he is. Robert McCracken, of course, he's training the former light middleweight champion of Great Britain in the corner. along with Tony Sims, of course. So a bit of work here from Carl Froch then with both hands, and I think this was right above us. And this was the moment that Matthew Barney got stuck underneath that top rope. And you could see there was no great desire by Froch to do any damage to him whilst it was like that. Otherwise he possibly would have done. So there's the challenger then, he's got a job to do here. I've got 6 rounds to go, and I've got him 4 behind. Can you see him winning the next? So this is the halfway point then, round 7 of this scheduled 12-round contest to decide the Commonwealth and British super middleweight champions, both held, of course, by Carl Froch.
Slight change in tactics now by Froch. Just standing his ground ever so slightly and allowing Barney to perhaps maybe come into him, maybe catch him on the counter punch. I mean, wouldn't that be a turn up for the books if,
wouldn't it just?
If Froch became the counter puncher?
Oh, a lovely left hook there from Barney.
That was a good shot. Barney's become very ambitious all of a sudden.
Well, I think he realises he has to. See the tactics, the change in tactics is good right there from Barney. It doesn't suit Carl.
And again with the right hand he's called Froch. It's a good start to the round this far from Barney.
Indeed it is, he's won the first minute. Nice body shot that. Barney's still there. He doesn't care where they land, does he?
Not at all.
A couple of slaps there on the arms from Carl Froch for me.
Froch needs to try and shorten his punches on the inside. Instead of throwing long shots over the top, he wants to try and shorten them on the inside, get to work on the inside, then come back with the long punches.
Yes, and it is an intriguing contest, Duke, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I said, you know, right from the beginning that this would go down to the wire. So many people said it would end in 2 rounds. It was unreal.
No, this was never going to end over in a couple of rounds. Barney's too good at what he does. You know, those people need to give this boy credit for what he actually does. He's a fantastic counter-puncher.
And credit also to Carl Froch here for maintaining his concentration. He's got Barney in a bit of trouble here. Well, it wasn't a bad round for Matthew Barney at the start. He won the first minute without a doubt. And he's just lost the last minute.
Yeah, Froch is right back in this round.
Oh, a bit of elbow there. Don't like to see that. He actually struck him with the elbow. He didn't just pull the head down.
Frustration on Froch's part. He wants to take this guy out if he can, but it's just not happening for him right now. So a little bit of frustration there. Can't quite land with a clean shot.
But he just wants to settle down, doesn't he? I know he wants to perform for the crowd, but to get the job done, he just needs to accept it's going to be a hard night's work.
Absolutely.
Carlo walked into the left hook. Well, I think Froch's work was more impressive, wasn't it, than Barney's work? Just about.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
And then you're going to start flowing now with these combinations.
Bit of replay here then from the 7th round. So a few sneak punches here from Barney on the replay. And that's a nice right hand from Carl Froch. Well, I've just checked my card, 69-64 for me, which means, of course, he's 5 points behind with 5 rounds to go. I don't think Matthew Barney can win this one. And it's not really as if he's got the puncher's chance, is it, Duke?
He's not a puncher at all. I don't know how he wins it, but he's not going to win it on the retreat. Looks pleased with himself though, Barney.
Round 8.
Froch, for his part, I'm sure he would have liked to have been in a more sort of engaging fight, but it hasn't happened for him. So, you know, it's time to revert to plan B.
Yeah, but he's got to settle down and accept that, you know, he should have known this way. Oh, that's right there from Matthew Barney. He should have known right from the very beginning it would be a terribly frustrating experience if he let it be. If you just accept that that's the way it's going to be, you don't get uptight, do you?
Yeah, sure. It's a good learning fight for Froch. You know, Barney just landed 2 terrific shots there, just bounced those punches off of Froch's head, so he's just gone on a little bit of a walkabout. He wasn't hurt, but they got enough to get his attention.
Don't forget, of course, that Matthew Barney did actually beat Dean Francis to become the champion of Britain.
These are good punches from Barney. That's frustration on Froch's part. He just walked in aimlessly there and just allowed Barney just to pot shot.
Well, the best I think Barney can do here, if he wins this and the next 4, is pick up a draw, which means, of course, the title stays with the champion, the titles stay with the champion.
It's quite a good round for Barney this far. Froch hasn't landed a clean shot and he's just getting outworked a little bit here.
He's got a bit of a nosebleed, I think, as well, Carl. Froch.
Well, he's obviously got very little respect for Barney's power and his punches, so he's taking unnecessary risks and picking up little abrasions as he goes along.
Yes, that's a very good point. Having no respect for your opponent, of course, can be a terrible downfall, can't it?
More jabs from Froch, more jabs. You know, he's not hitting the target enough to get the combinations home that he really wants to do.
I'll tell you something, you know, this is not a bad round here for Matthew Barney now, would you agree?
Absolutely, yeah, well, he's winning up to this point.
Straight away, guys.
Oh, lovely left hand there. Brought that very well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Barney's going to win this one. Yeah, that's around for Matthew Barney. That pulls a point back for him. 78-74, 4 between them and 4 to play. That score, of course, is only my own. So there's Carl Froch then. That's the reigning and defending champion. Well, there's his girlfriend Felicity on the right and his mother Carol on the left. There's his mum Carol, and I just wonder how they're feeling at this point. We're reasonably confident that you know, he's got an unassailable lead here, but it may not be that way for the referee.
Wait for him. Do you understand? And you're waiting too long. We've only got 12 minutes left. Come on.
So here we go then for round 9. It's the joint main event, of course, on this Hennessy Sports promotion, and of course, a double title fight. British and Commonwealth super middleweight at stake.
Well, this is where I would expect to see quite a big drive from Froch now. Now, in these last sort of 4 rounds, I'd expect him to really, you know, bite on that gum shield, start to try and pull away. You know, really try and put Barney in his place if he can.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And it looks like he started this round in that kind of fashion, doesn't it, with that good right hand.
See, the hook that he tried there was just too long. You can see what he's trying to do. He really wants to stamp his authority, land a big blow, stop Barney in his tracks, but it just hasn't quite happened. He's trying to shorten his punches. He needs to keep his left hand up, creep inside, bang the body, then come over with the top shots, if Barney will allow him to.
And this atmosphere still absolutely thick with anticipation.
You know what, Barney's actually stopped running now.
Yes, I've noticed that. He's a bit flat-footed now, deliberately.
Very, very deliberately. He's prepared to meet fire with fire. He wants to start and have a little bit of a toe-to-toe with Froch.
Well, the fact is, Duke, if he wants to win the fight, he's got to put Froch away.
better now from Froch. This is what I expected from him. It's more of the same.
Well, once again, a good striking right there from the Cobra. Well, this could be the moment when Matthew Barney realises he can't win. Really a great finish for Froch if he can get rid of him.
It would be, you know, obviously that would be quite something because Barney doesn't get stops. He's good at what he does, but this is a good dominant round by Froch. This is the drive I've come to expect from Froch now.
Well, they were right above us then, and Carl looked down and had a bit of a smile on his face, didn't he?
So his confidence is back up there.
Well, he's caught Matthew Barney on the nose now, that's bleeding. Oh, he's looking for the big shot. It's a good job he's got a decent chin, you know, Carl Froch, because I suspect, you know, if Barney does catch him right, he could really hurt him. Though at this stage, I've got a feeling Matthew Barney would probably rather be somewhere else.
Sure, maybe we should be part of the crowd.
In a minute, he might just be.
Good sustained attack by Froch. This is all Froch now, he's all on top.
Oh, a lovely right again from Matthew Barney there. Well, he punctuated a good attack by Froch with a crunching right straight through the middle. Well, 5 points is the difference now to 88 to 83 with only 3 to play. This man looks safe. The replay coming up here, lots of hard work done by Carl Froch. And Barney took some terrific shots there.
Come on, big breath.
And here once again is Carl Froch on the march. Good right hand that. And then a cluster of 4, 5, 6 punches.
Good for a minute. It's only good for a minute.
But another round like that, and I've got a feeling they will pull Barney out, you know. Duke, what do you reckon?
I don't think they'll pull him out. He's not in that much trouble. Sure, it was a bad round for him, but he's been given quite a good account of himself up until that point.
Yes, that's interesting how Barney just stood back there while Froch almost charged up his feet, didn't he?
Just trying to take the play away from Barney there a little bit, just trying to do something a little bit different.
And I think it's a terrible mistake of Carl to have his hands down, slung low like this.
We've got Froch taunting Barney now, just talking to him just a little bit.
He's been doing that throughout the fight, actually. It's been pretty subtle at times. Was very close to stepping in then. Don't know whether he was close to stopping it or not.
He's had a good look at Barney there. There's been a big change since the last round, and Froch has started this round off very, very purposefully.
Well, these are the sort of attacks that can lead to a stoppage victory. Barney's got to keep chucking the odd shot just to show the referee he's still there, can still look after himself and still in with the jumps. So this then is round 10 of the scheduled 12, and it was a rough round in the 9th. It's been a rough round here in the 10th. For Matthew Barney.
Yeah, much better round for Froch. The pace is starting to drop and it's really suiting him because he can land the big blows. Barney's not really throwing too much back now at all, if anything. It's all Froch now.
Once again, a little jab there from Matthew Barney just to Show us all he's still there. Skip there from Matthew for a right hand. I was chatting to a lad earlier who was part of the team Froch, and he told me that that Carl's training has been absolutely unbelievable. And he can do this standing on his head, and it looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, it's all Froch now, it really is.
Well, another good round then for Carl Froch. It's interesting, you know, as I say, been calling out Joe Calzaghe. They're the top two in the Commonwealth rankings, by the way, Calzaghe and Robin Reid. But there's another guy, Ruben Grunewald, a South African based in Britain. He really, well, you know, he really fancies a crack at Carl Froch. But, you know, I've got to say, I think Carl's a very hard man to beat.
He will be a hard man to beat. He's got good reflexes, good, obviously, good balance to go with that. Reasonably good chin, obviously, he's really untested as yet. But Froch has got a lot going for him.
Well, that was a good spell there. Right hand very high on the head of Matthew Barney. Penultimate round then. Norman Maddox RMC brings them out for the round 11 of a scheduled 12. And the last couple of rounds have been magnificent really for Carl Froch. If you're a Carl Froch fan, this is exactly what you wanted to see.
Well, the last two rounds, Froch has really sort of stepped on the gas, and it's just been all about him. But you would expect him to start pulling away in the last quarter of this fight.
Yes, well, I've got a 6-point gap, Duke. I'm not quite sure how you got it. 5 points, okie dokie, that's fair enough. And we've seen things fairly consistently all night. That's a little right there, followed by a left hook from Barney.
It's been so difficult for Froch tonight. I really feel that you know, he struggled to cope with this counter-punching style. But we knew that Barney would frustrate him. We knew that Barney would go missing, and you know that he would be able to do this for long periods of time.
Well, so there's no surprise here really for anybody, is there?
That body shot really hurt Barney.
But you know, hats off to Matthew Barney, Duke.
Oh sure. I mean, he's an absolute master at what he does. You know, he's a good counter-puncher. He knows how to fiddle and mess around.
Well, Froch on the hunt now, and you know, we always knew he had to be, but really looking like a hunter there, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Every bit the predator.
Uppercut. Matthew ducking and diving here, trying to keep himself out of trouble. Froch piles on the pressure. Well, all of a sudden, that is snuffed out by Barney's bit of spoiling there, but you can't blame him.
No, you can't blame him, but Froch just finally started to shorten the punches on the inside now. And he's finding a real good place for that right uppercut. Barney employing every kind of tactic you can think of to spoil him.
You know, I gotta say it, Duke, it's still an intriguing contest.
It certainly is.
I mean, I was hearing people talk about absolute nightmares. Left hand there from Barney. You know, but it's not been like that, has it? It's been a difficult fight for Carl. It's been a tough fight for Matthew.
Absolutely.
For the crowd, I think it's been pretty decent.
Absolutely.
Of course, all the people watching at home. Now, was that a wobble?
Oh no, I don't think that was a wobble. He just caught him there a little bit.
Well, I've got a 7-point gap, 108 to 101, with 11 rounds gone. And the Duke has got it, 108 to 102. So once again, a 1-point difference.
You've got to stick your feet in fucking down for all that right. Chin down. Downstairs and over the top with that in that right angle straight away, alright?
Here we go then for the 12th and final round to decide the destination of the British and Commonwealth super middleweight crowns. Do they stay in Nottingham? Will they go down south to Southampton?
Well, never at any point has Froch looked like he was losing control of this fight. It's just been a little bit frustrating as we thought it would be, as we knew it would be. So, you know, full credit to him for persevering and sticking at his task. He's had 4 good. The last 4 rounds have been 4 good, very clear rounds for Froch. And, you know, Barney did and set out to do exactly what he said he would do.
Well, it really is in this last quadrant, or sort of the third quarter, really, that he's kind of sorted it out, hasn't he?
Yeah. In the last quarter of the fight, it's been all Froch.
And he's still not to put Matthew away because of the taunting and this, that and the other that's been going on between these two lads. But, you know, when a challenger really fancies it, you can't... Sometimes you've got to work like hell to beat them, haven't you?
Absolutely.
And there's no doubt about it, Matthew Barney has given Carl Froch nightmares here, and still is.
Froch has never been in danger of losing the fight, but as you said, Barney's made it as frustrating a night as he could possibly want. Froch should start bringing them up through the middle once again. You know, the right uppercut he landed earlier on was a good shot.
But he walked into a left hand there from Matthew. There's lots of pressure now coming here from Carl Froch. He knows it's the last round. Everything you've saved, you've got to lose now. Matthew Barney's father over to my right. He's standing up and trying to encourage him to box. Well, that's an unusual thing at this stage of the fight for Carl Froch to have done. Dropped his hands, walked forward, got caught.
Froch is still going for the knockout even now.
And wouldn't that be its supreme irony if he walked onto a punch whilst doing it? Oh. Well, full marks to Matthew Barney for taking the pressure that Froch has handed out for the last 4, 5, 6 rounds. And well done really for Carl Froch for absolutely sticking at this and getting very aggressive when he's had to. Oh, come on, Phil. You know, we're 10 seconds on the end and he takes the point off Matthew Barney. A bit excessive, that, I think. So this will be a 10-8 round then for Carl Froch. Just a second to go.
Froch really powering it on right to the end here, so...
And we get the verdict straight away. There we go. There's the verdict. Well, just checking my scorecard, 118 to 109, in my opinion, in favour of the man who came in with the belts and go home with them as well, Carl Froch. And I'll tell you what, that was a real tough fight. And do you know what? Not one single person has left yet. The crowd here is on their feet. That was an awful lot better than a lot of people expected, Duke, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot better than people expected. You know, Barney played his part in quite an entertaining fight.
Where now?
Well, for Froch, I think, you know, the European title's got to beckon. He needs to take that step up now.
What about Matthew Barney?
Barney will just go back on the road.
But as you know, he's the king of the Who Wants Him club, and you know, getting fights has always been a problem for Matthew, even with the championship.
Yeah, it won't be easy for him, but you know, he's
When he won the WBU title, he couldn't defend it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 12 rounds, the referee's scorecard reads Matthew Barney, 110 points. Carl Froch, 118 points. The winner and still British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion, Nottingham's Carl Froch. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciations, Matthew Barney.
So Carl, the Cobra Froch making 16 wins out of 16 and retains his belts. We will hear from Carl and the thoughts of Duke McKenzie when we come back. Well, welcome back to the Nottingham Arena with a victorious Carl the Cobra Froch. You said on Wednesday when we met that it would be an awkward encounter, and it was.
Well, that's it. Yeah, he showed what he tried to do tonight. He came here to survive and make me look bad and spoil me, and he managed to do that to a certain degree. But you know, I got a lot of good shots in there, landed with some clean digs. I had to be careful with the right hand because it's very sore. But you know, you can't stop them all. Very good learning fight for me. I probably won't fight anyone in my whole career as awkward and as negative as that.
I mean, that's the point. It's the 16th fight of your pro career. You're obviously very ambitious and want great things, but these are the awkward customers you have to fight on the way up the ladder.
Too right. Nobody wants to fight Matthew Barney because of what you've seen tonight. He's awkward, he runs, he holds, he jabs, he comes to survive and make you look bad. I don't think he made me look too terrible in there tonight. He did time me out a little bit, wrestling me and holding me, but you know, I'm a fighter, not a wrestler. I don't come in here to hold and mess around. I come to stand and trade punches. He didn't allow me to do that, but I got some good shots off. I nearly stopped him, and overall I'm very pleased with the performance.
You were close at times, weren't you, to getting him out of there? There were moments where the crowd were on its feet thinking this could be it, and yet he is elusive. He does know how to survive in a ring. Give him credit for that.
It does, yeah. Just when I thought I'd line that big shot up and take him out, he'd slip under, grab hold of me, or just get one back himself. So he stayed in there quite occasionally, but he's had 26 or 27 fights. He's very experienced, and he does that for a living. That's what he does all the time, runs and holds. So he's very good at it. Like I said, I probably won't meet anyone as awkward as that again. And I took him out in style anyway. I beat him around the head quite good, and I'm pleased with the shots I got off. If you have a look at his face, you can clearly see who won the fight. I think I won every round clearly, 118, 110. For those at home who don't know what that means, I won every round clearly. So it's a good result.
It is, and it's another nice victory in front of your home fans. What's next for Carl Froch? You've talked about Joe Calzaghe. Are you ready for that sort of class of opponent? Duke wonders you need a bit more tests before you get to that class.
Well, maybe so, maybe not. Every fight's different. Styles make fights. That fight would have brought me on no end. I believe I'm ready for Joe Calzaghe. I think I'll take him out in style. That's because he's a proud warrior and he comes to fight. Anyone who comes to fight me end up on the canvas. He didn't come to fight tonight, so I think it was a great performance.
Thank you for tonight, Carl. We hope to see you again, and well done.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Go and get yourself towelled down. Let's bring Duke in for a chat.